What up, y'all? Big mistake. Accidentally hit that button. Sorry.
You hit that button.
Accidentally cut the live stream short. Make an announcement real quick.
People tweeting the stream literally.
I just got the notification too that you went live again.
Yeah.
Hey, this is round 2.
Shout the stream is
Run it out to 100 likes. No.
The fact that okay, so like.
Do I gotta like both streams or?
Yes,
I mean,
sir.
Like
we're gonna edit them. We're gonna edit and make a video.
I gotta tag everybody again, boy, because we literally lost all our shit.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Basically, I accidentally like I went to hit my video thing. It just like shook my wrist a little too far and hit the end of the live button. So yeah, I just made a mistake. It accidentally hit in live.
So guys, you know what to do. You come up the stream, you like the stream.
So
yo, East got his gas off that sermon. He already started us off.
I think he's slick. He about to get all the views back, and there's gonna be 2 videos piled together.
Yo.
Because what I would do is I'm gonna put part 2 on the end of this.
Let's go.
Because that I was not supposed to accidentally do that, but and I'm probably gonna end up downloading these later and trying to combine them so that we get one video.
Thanks, Stretch Unlimited.
But that will mean that we'll end up losing the
14 likes.
The live chat. Also, Watkins had donated on that last one, and he was like, "Oh shit, I just lost it."
Oh, that's bad.
Hold up.
If he's here, say what you said again, don't you?
I can find it.
Oh, I thought you ended the stream again.
No. I accidentally the walking stream.
Some obsessies, we don't do some obsessies. Look at this. We are
we read. I think we read his thing out loud.
We did read his thing out loud.
Okay.
That brother De La Cruz said, so everyone like both streams, people. Like the stream.
22
They
likes.
said that nigga Odyssey moving like Nintendo, putting 2 Pokemon games out at once.
They said he re-released Mario 64.
That's crazy.
Oh, they really did that for the DSi. I'm so mad about that.
Oh god!
Bro, look what
that
they
was
did.
A complete accident too. I feel dumb as hell, but whatever.
Pokemon. Pokemon Diamond and Pearl, bro. They just destroyed the hopes of many people. The last game.
So wait, I got a question. So how do y'all feel about Endeavor ignoring Shoto when he wants to be?
Down bad.
When Shoto wants to be Raw Kino swag too, and Endeavor's not letting him.
Oh, listen, I do not mess with that, okay? Because
he relapsing, right? Squid, he's neglecting his kids.
Again, yeah.
He's neglecting Saz.
Expeditious too.
We doing hero
swag. Shoto double tapped. He called him and then he had to double text him like, "Hey, pick up."
And once again, this is yet another case of him choosing to be a hero.
Soto was texting Endeavor, and then Endeavor was like, "Answer me, Shoto."
All right, so one thing that this kind of reminds me of in terms of themes is of Benji's arc is that he keeps prioritizing being a hero over just being a father. And this is another example of that. First, he can't save Natsuo, then he can't save Shoto from Toya, then he can't save this. Every time he has to choose between hero or father, he picks hero every time without fail. Without
because
fail.
Because
don't
he's
even
a
think
hero
about
to the
it.
score. Because he's a hero to his score. You know what I mean?
So
this was actually one of my criticisms with the arc so far. I was like, all right, I get the Deku focus, but there are other characters that have a reason to be around. Shoto is looking for Dabi too. Bakugo doesn't really besides the Deku All Might thing, he doesn't really have anything with Best Jeanist to where Best Jeanist would bring him along.
It's gonna.
Should be with Endeavor.
Technically,
in my opinion.
Okay.
I'm glad they addressed it.
Chill, guys. I think he's talking.
Hold on, I want to argue for Best Jeanist and Bakugo because he did say.
I was about to address that real quick. Okay. So one of the things that I wanted to point out is that Bakugo and Jeanist don't have a super powerful connection, in the sense that like they didn't get to actually hang out a lot. But Genus does actually mean a lot to Bakugo. But more importantly than that is that when we got the letter discussion, I always say it was weird as hell that we didn't get to see Shoto's reaction to the letter. We didn't get to see Bakugo's reaction to the letter. The fact that we didn't see Ida or Tokoyami react to the letter. And the thing about these characters specifically, especially like when you look at Tokoyami, he's got the Hawks connection. Hawks has disappeared again. He's probably sick of losing his mentor. So he's got a reason to like try to find interact with Hawks. He's got no time with him. Deku's out there missing. Deku saved Tokoyami during the forest training arc. Mm-hmm. So he's got a reason to try to go out there and try to save Deku. He's got a reason to try to be there for his mentor. He's got a reason to try to be there because of the fact that like just everything that's going on as a hero. So you have Tokoyami who's set up, has got like good setup. Plus Deku was one of the first people to acknowledge Tokoyami in the class during the sports festival and like really like pull him to the front and like make him the center of the plan, making him the horse. So we've had like Tokoyami and Deku have had this like relationship building up this whole time. And now we're at a point where Tokoyami has like a reason to be there. We got Bakugo, whose connections to Deku, who was worried about Genus. We have Shoto, who wants to be there for Endeavor, who's his father. He interns under Endeavor. Bakugo interns under Endeavor too. But then there's also their friendship with Deku, who saved Shoto from his wrong-minded thinking and self-isolation. Deku saving Bakugo from his own issues eventually, like overall, like because that's what each like interaction with Deku that like is like critical changes and helps Bakugo turn to a better person. All these people now who have had this time, and like Ochako calling him an idiot, that like in the tropey sense is almost always that she's gonna pull up and slap this nigga. So like if you just like look at these characters, they were all prevalent in we want to stop Bakugo from being taken into the darkness of the villains. When you look at Tokoyami, Shoto, Bakugo, Ochako, they were all there, and now they get the chance to, instead of failing and like they did in Forest Training to save Bakugo from getting kidnapped, they have a chance to save Deku from being pulled into the darkness of his own despair.
Machinations.
So yeah, we get a payoff of that Forest Training crew plus any of these other connections that you can, like Ida especially, like you can kind of fit in there regardless, even if he wasn't there during the Forest Training arc, because he was there at Kamino. Same with like Kirishima. Might not have been there in the Forest Training, but he's also part of the Kamino crew. So
we saw Kirishima's reaction.
Well, yeah. So yeah, like so I feel like anybody we saw is benched, and I feel like anybody we didn't see is on the table for popping up.
I'm just glad. I'm just glad that the Shoto thing got acknowledged, because I was actually like really upset about that, because I was really looking forward to his arc, and I thought that it got like swept under the rug. But I didn't say nothing about it because I was just waiting it out, because we really didn't get that much Endeavor either.
Depending on how much.
So now that we saw it, I'm like, all right, good. Like, you didn't forget about this. That Shoto wants to be here. He has like actual motivation now to fight, as opposed to before where he was just there.
A tarnish.
That depressed kid that happens to be on duty.
Yeah, a tarnish. But what does this prove again? Once again, Horikoshi got everything in mind and more. So everything y'all niggas be complaining about, not you Tarnish, but everybody else y'all be complaining about, Horikoshi already got all that shit in mind. Y'all not slick. Like y'all be complaining about the kids' reaction. Had y'all way, we wouldn't have moved out the hospital to like 313. Everybody would have had one chapter for.
We still would have been in the hospital by now.
Oh God,
we would still be in the hospital.
Playing with y'all.
If we got everything that people want, we still would have been in the
hospital. And guess what? Let me address it like this. Y'all be like, well, I just want this character. Yeah, you just want this character, but guess what? For every just y'all two that just want Shoto and Bakugo, it's 3 more characters that wanted this. It's 3 more people that wanted this. 5 more people that wanted these other characters and Bakugo and Shoto. Like, it doesn't end once you just stop trying to please one person, because everybody's not gonna be pleased. That's why he just take into account, I'm gonna do what I do because I know all my characters, all my pieces better than anybody else. And I'm so glad he don't be listening to nobody else, because if he was listening to some of y'all, I want this and everybody else, we wouldn't be getting nowhere, bro. I promise you.
We would get like 50 chapters in the hospital.
God, and one for every character.
We would have had a hospital arc.
The Inko stuff would have been 3 chapters with these motherfuckers.
We would have had a hospital arc, and then niggas would have been complaining about the hospital arc for the next 3 years.
Oh God, then we would have been
like that's what it would have been. They would have been like, no villain pulled up at the hospital, no stakes, trash.
Niggas would have been like, okay, all right, well listen, we got all 2 A's reactions. Okay, I want a solo chapter for Miracle, how she felt. Okay, what about Kamui and Mount Lady, how they felt? All right, I want a solo chapter for Fat Gum and Sun Eater. All right, I want Neji Ray, Ultra Cole, and Lady Dragon Lady Ryuku all having their one chapter. Okay, I want like nigga. It don't
wait. East. Will that complete your order, sir? Here at Manga King, you can have it your way.
Oh no, nah, that don't complete it. We're told that where they got compressed and Ujiko. Hey, is there any other characters that we don't need to see, but I want to see anyway because
I ain't gonna lie. Another low-key disappointment so far that I'm holding off on because it's just not time for it yet is Makia. I really want to know what happened to Makia.
I want to see what's happening to my girl Toga.
Okay, real quick though. Let me hit up the super chat because I used to type comments about Spider-Man. Said, to be fair, when you have to protect your son's friend from AFO and Shigaraki while keeping Japan from completely collapsing, that easily takes top priority.
And
wait, can I say something about this?
Hold on. I mean, can Shoto not
participate? Asked an important question. Where's my Mineta chapter though?
Man, by the way, you're winning that. You're winning for that. We're waiting for that every day.
He's not the same nigga he used to be. So
God, wasn't the Mineta.
He used to be garbage and the creep pervert. Yeah, but listen, he's grown too. All right.
Mm-hmm. We need that chapter. I can't wait to see that chapter of him facing a villain like on the streets, reminding from where he comes from. You know what I mean? Mineta thinking like I'm a hero too, throwing his balls on the right places. Being like the Shikamaru of My Hero Academia. Let's get it, bro. Let's get it.
Listen, when my boy Tokoyami come back here, and he's equivalent to the trio, which we all know he is at night.
It's been raining nonstop.
You're gonna say like, listen, my dog Tokoyami top 3 right now. Top 3. Like you ain't playing with
look, because the other thing is that it's been one of the things that War Arc made it a point to say directly is the children have better quirks than us. So, Dipax, you want the invite? I've been meaning to have you on.
Yeah, please, yeah. Nigga be
yeah, me and him could tag out because I actually got to go soon, but I want to go on a tangent about Death Arms.
All right, let's go. Go on your tangent.
Yeah, have your tangent.
All right. So like when I first read the leaks and I found out that Death Arms quit, like I was personally hurt. So I just want to talk about how this man's is like actually like anybody who feels bad for him on some he's not like Yorimusha. No, they are cut from the same cloth. I don't care what nobody say because the fact that he said only like 10 cheers compared nothing to 1 complaint, like is crazy to me. Because even though that's true, that you hear the negative stuff more than the good stuff, like you just folding under pressure because people cheering for you should not be why you're fighting on the streets right now. When everything like is going crazy, when chaos struck, they all showed their true colors that they just want clout. Like Yorimusha just wanted clout. He said that word for word. He just wanted love and respect. Death Arms just wanted clout in my eyes. Cause like that guy that died that people call his sidekick, I heard that's not even his sidekick. I feel like he would have brought that up in his like him quitting. I heard that was just some guy from Kyushu who looks like him. And then he's like, I'm no hero. I'm only a man or a human. It's like, when were you ever not human? Because we see when Bakugo got captured by a slum villain, Death Arms was there, and he purposely didn't do any of these, like, my quirk is no good. And whenever people talk about why staying is right, they always bring that up, that heroes just watched Bakugo suffer and didn't do anything about it. And then he scolded Deku after that for jumping in. He was one of the people who scolded Deku, saying, why did you do that? You didn't have to do that. Not knowing that Deku jumping in is actually what saved the day. But like all these heroes who are quitting, I don't get them. They never have a good reason to me. And right now I have a prediction. Like I think Ryukyu quit too, because I feel like Ryukyu should be with this squad right now, looking for like All For One and Shigaraki.
I don't know. She took.
Well, maybe
and Ryukyu has never been like mentally, like I like Ryukyu, but like mentally she's never really been like a strong hero to me. Because after
She
the
lost
overhaul,
she lost her hands, man.
Yeah,
there
like,
is-
Look at
like
her
she got.
hands.
I don't
Yeah, I
know.
don't even know. Like, we haven't even seen like the fucking the aftermath of that. It was just implied that her arms were going. We didn't see it in full detail.
Right, I'm just saying though, like she might
busted,
be.
bro. You could see how Shigaraki.
Boy, if
punched
Aizawa,
into
bro,
shit.
y'all saw it 306 when they were talking about all the heroes that like are getting back up to fight. Aizawa is there. I don't want to hear nothing about lost limbs or nothing. Like
no. Because
Miracle lost the arm. Miracle lost the arm.
Hold on. Aizawa can get a prosthetic leg and jump up and move. Miracle uses her fucking legs, so an arm don't really mean shit. Especially you just get a prosthetic. All she do is use her legs. She used her arms really once in that fight.
You can use them as balance.
But Ryuko, being one of her main things is her arms. Like, if you one of the main ones that said that much time ain't passed. So damn well fucking her busted ass arms ain't in condition to get back on the street and start.
Hawks was burnt chicken.
So okay, here's my thing with like Ryuki, because like even with Deku, like we've seen sometimes he takes a little extra time to heal, but like it's because the difference between like her getting a prosthetic and a lot of other people getting a prosthetic is that her body transforms. So it's not like she can make a robot arm that transforms with her transformation into a dragon hand that's like the right size, more than like.
We know there's elastic.
I think that's the big issue. So like if she's got like a bunch of damage to her hands that like she can't fight with her real arms anymore, then she's kind of stuck in this weird position of like they need to find a way to develop a technology or a support course item so that she can fight again.
One of the ideas so we know that there is extremely elastic material in the series which can like adjust to the size of a person, but that's more like applied to clothing. But we know with Detnerat's tech, especially like the American support tech that is compressible, maybe they could do something to where they have adjusting like compressible artificial hands, because their technology is way more advanced than our universe. The movies, at least the first two, are canon. And in the first movie, we did see that regenerative medicine tube that All Might was in back on Island.
Island is lit.
I mean, yeah, but it's only for rich folk, rich scientist folk.
Yeah,
you ain't gonna find no little Keigo Takamis on Island.
Yeah, I ain't gonna find no broke ass niggas on Island.
But anyway, I'm gonna leave. I gotta go out for Father's Day.
All right,
Tarnish.
All right, man.
Let me just get my coat and I'll meet you in the car, man.
Oh, bro.
All right, hold up.
Well,
we have a special guest with us here today.
Mm-hmm.
My boy Daiba, how you doing?
Yo.
Yo, Daiba.
Oh wait, no, he just popped back out.
Okay,
Yeah.
well,
really, man? I see yo, Daiba. You go went away, man. Do you hate me or so? Damn, bro.
Hey, no, we not talking about that fucking. No, we not talking about record of garbage. All right, they did that shit abysmal. Netflix need to fucking shoot themselves for that that nonsense they pulled. Absolutely abysmal. I have never been so disrespected in my life. I thought 7 Deadly Sins and Black Hole was some trash. That is honestly some of the most disrespectful, blatant shit I've ever seen in my life. That, like Chibi said, that was a fucking PowerPoint slide. They need to be ashamed of themselves. Ain't no excuse over here. Ain't no, they ain't had time, this, that, and the other. No, that was a PowerPoint slide. They were the best fight in the month. You know what? No, I ain't no excuse. I'm not trying to hear a single thing about animation. It take time to do. No, I don't want to hear nothing. You ain't the same damn thing you can get to me. They foreshadowed this goddamn trailer months ago, and you give me a PowerPoint slide? No, I ain't hearing. I ain't a damn excuse in the book you can tell me that's open to my ears. You can wipe. I'm gonna wipe my ass with it.
Is this record of Ragnarok?
Yes.
God. Oh my god.
Hey,
oh,
DPH
by the way, I just gotta say, right, Aniki, thank you so much for inviting me. I'm actually a huge fan of your stuff, and I really appreciate it. So I'm gonna give a round of applause to thank you, because you guys, right, you're killing it in the MHA community, and you guys are like actually the most positive, and like you do constructive criticism, and which I really like. You know, a lot of people are very like, what you would call it, very, what's the word?
Like just aggressive,
reactionary.
Not even just aggressive, reactionary. Not even just reactionary.
inflammatory.
They want their own things to. Yeah, they just want their own things to come true in MHA. But at least we got some people like thinking rationally. So thank you so much, by the way.
Being reactionary is unnecessary.
We try to like look. My thing is that even like setting out, we were trying to have like an honest, like we're going to be analytical, we're going to be honest, we're going to look at like what the series is bringing to the table.
Mhm.
But like if it's going to like have an actual fumble, because the problem that I always find is that people want to be able to say like, if this even looks a certain way, I freak out. And it's like, whoa,
Yeah.
slow down. Like, because like I always say, like Eri, like Night Eye died with Eri 2 rooms over.
Mhm.
And that is a story choice that Horikoshi made. And it's like, when an author is willing to say, yes, I can have these tools that can scare you, and yes, this can be powerful, but I will be putting limits on it, and shows you like through the story immediately, like this is I will go so far as to let someone die to show you there are limits on this power. Then I think like that's something you gotta factor in going forward. Like this person has these tropes in mind.
I think one thing that has
100%.
to be considered is like out of like all the like I guess out of like a lot of the shonen I've read, that like My Hero easily has the most potential to get like with everything that is inside the series, it can easily just be broken beyond belief. But think about it, we have extremely advanced medicine, we have regeneration quirks, we have rewind, we have overhaul. We have, these extremely like series breaking potential elements in there. And 300 chapters later, we're still on balanced ground.
Yeah, people still get meaningful injuries. Like one of the first characters we're introduced to in the story is Ectoplasm. Like throughout like the school, a man who has lost his legs
to a villain.
And like he uses peg legs for combat, sure, but like he already lost. Like the fact that he had to live with that, and that's like a thing that people still have to live with these problems, because while medicine and technology have advanced, the problem and society has always had weapons advance faster, and that's always been the case.
I agree with that. There was one thing that I was a little scared of. I'm not even gonna lie about the whole medicine thing, because what I like about MHA is that once you're scarred, you're scarred. Like you've lost something. Like you're not coming back. Like you're gonna have, yeah, you can use your quirks, sure, but you're not using that the same. So my fear, I'm not gonna lie, was when I think it was straight after the war arc, right? And I think no, during the war arc, and they talked about how Best Genius' body was in a comatose state, I think, or something like that. And they were talking about how there's like this super advanced tech in hospitals. So I was thinking, okay, I hope, I trust her, Koshi, I always do. But I just, like that little doubt, I just say, I hope to God he doesn't use like this hospital healing to like heal like almost any injury. Like I still want how it's gone to always, how the story has gone to always go. Like I just want my people to still be injured and not have like ways of coming back fully fit. Like correct me if I'm wrong here, because I feel like now Best Genius might be like back to full form and nothing happened to him. Like that Holtz knocking him out didn't really change him. I mean, I don't know.
So here's the thing. If you remember back at the war, when he like pulled up with the carbon fiber cables and stuff, like even before like he got his leg broken, he was already starting to like spurt blood out of his eyes from like trying to hold down Makia from the strain of that. So we see like he quickly was like down, but then one of the most important scenes for me was this most recent chapter last week, where if you remember, like Deku and Endeavor head into the building, but like Genius is like, oh yeah, be careful in there. And if you remember, so like I don't like Genius is definitely not in good shape. And if you remember back when he was like, when we got the Genius Mobile introduced, he like caught some villains and he was like, sorry for being so flashy, but I needed to do it this way because I'm not in the best condition. So we know Genius is still like
he definitely has a much lower like endurance for using his quirk now because of only having one lung.
So yeah, it's like he's down. His lung capacity is down. So in general, he does seem to be like less of one of the combatants. And like even when you look back to the formation of like Hawks calling in when he was the furthest back, then Genus was like in the midline, wrapping him up using the carbon fiber. And he's like spamming carbon fiber now. He's only using like the highest tier thing that he can wrap people up with because he can't afford to like try to go easy anymore, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that makes sense. I thought those were the injuries because of like, you know, like you said, like All For One's the first hit from him when all the way back in Cabino. I thought it was from there, and then also from MHA. I didn't think it was from Hawks. That's the only thing. I mean, but I get what you're saying. Like that all logically just adds up and makes sense. I mean, it's all in the manga, but yeah. Thank you.
Oh, no problem.
See, that's the thing about injuries. I also mentioned too. I was like, all right, bro. If Hawks do get his wings back, they'll never be what they were. At best, we getting what we got here now. They'll never be back at the tip-top shape they were at before. And as you've seen, that's why actually My Hero fan was actually weird that week. When I expected them to really flip out over the Hawks thing, that was one of the most least mentioned things ever. And then and nobody really talked about it. But I was like, I figured.
And then what doesn't help?
Everybody would have been bugging out like this, that, and the other. But it was like a couple people here and there. But I was like, that's surprising y'all not flipping the fuck out.
And then what doesn't help is that Hawks' wings is basically a Luigi high jump. Like he can just kind of like I think he didn't fly. Like he jumped off like a building, and then he flew, and then tried, and he got flapped 3 feet, and then caught in the gaunt. I mean, he could have started from the bottom, but it's definitely heavily diminished. And the fact he needed multiple feathers when one was capable of handling an adult male, in Pro Hero, it's his wings are definitely not the same caliber as they used to.
Basically, he's not folding anybody on the street right now like that. Maybe those thugs at best that were trying to fuck with All Might, but he's not really folding. Like if they get into everybody get into a real brawl, it's not gonna be good.
Nadir Moad says, sorry, haven't been active, guys. I've been hopping around watching Sunpatch and anime lately. Oh, that's all good. Those are homies. Spreading the love. I'm good with that. I appreciate that.
This is all a community here, man. We are here for each other.
So my thing, okay, so Tarnish is very adamant that Death Arms is a fraud. And thinking about that earlier part in the series where that he mentioned where they just kind of watched it happen, and then him yelling at Deku for trying to save Bakugo. I do kind of see where he's coming from in that department. But how did you feel about that?
I think Death Arms is more realistic kind of, because let's be real, if there's a villain that you can't beat and you're in this world where the whole society relies on how strong you are, and if you can take down a villain as well, I would say, me personally, as quickly as possible, or just be as heroic as possible. I don't blame him, Death Arms, for being the way he is. I mean, when he said his stuff in the manga this week, and he said, oh, it only takes one hateful comment out of 10 positive ones, I just thought, oh damn, that's actually I had to stop during my reaction because I had to think about that. I was like, that's kind of realistic, people, this does happen to people on social media. I mean, so that's why I can't blame him too much for being a bit the way he is, because when I first read it, before he even said all these things, I was like, oh, you're such a puss. How you backing out from fighting villains and all that? But when he said that, I was like, damn, it might be a mental thing. It might be maybe he's insecure of other heroes. I don't have any malice against Death Arms for doing what he did, but I don't know. I just get it. I think I get it because he just doesn't have a strong enough quirk, maybe, and he's not that type of popular hero. Well, he isn't, but maybe he's not going to be. So can't blame him for leaving, in my opinion, or for retiring. That's what I think.
And for me, the thing that sold that it's a mental thing is that he was I thought I was different, better, and I'm sure we all did once. And this is literally just someone being no, I'm a failure. I'm a failure.
But let me ask y'all this. Let me ask y'all this. And y'all want y'all no line, okay? That's the chat and everybody in this church stream. If you are on the street and you're sacrificing your life all the effort you put, blood, sweat, and tears, effort you put forward, and all of a sudden you trying to help people, and you get to a scene a little bit late, and somebody throw a fucking frying pan at your head, you're not gonna be a little bit upset? That was one incident. This shit keeps happening. How many fucking fights are happening on the street where to the point where like, yeah, I just stopped this over here, but I just missed 3 more over there. And by the time I get there to help everybody else, you getting criticized and you getting bullshit on. And like Death Arm's like, if I lost somebody that close to me, like my sidekick, my underling, and I gotta find this nigga dead, and I don't get time to breathe and rest. I have to spend day and night out here in these streets, and all I hear fucking is niggas like the people that was like Shindo went to pull up on, and the ungrateful ass people, and they just talking shit, and I'm putting my life on the line after I got sacrifices at comrades. Listen, I'm gonna let you know something. I try to show you I'm a very kind person, empathy and all that, but you got me fucked. You got me all the way fucked up, and you think you're gonna treat me like shit, and you're not gonna be ungrateful to me after I just lost people and put my life on the line for you. You really got me fucked up. Cause think about it, it's been a whole month, bro. At this point, like they have been out here sacrificing their lives, slaving away, grinding in the street, and all I got, and all this time, y'all niggas just whining and complaining. Nah, you got me solely bent. Cause the first day somebody threw a frying pan in my head, that license wouldn't have meant shit to me no more. I'm beating everybody's ass.
I don't blame you, but I also look at it in terms of like
Why did it
how
have to
your
be
society
cast
is.
iron?
Sorry?
Why did the pan have to be cast iron? That just
Because it
felt
was a
extra
cast iron skin.
disrespectful.
I don't know, stronger.
What was that?
Make sure the hit goes in. I think, do you know what it is? I think that because these society, they're all so used to having like all these like big heroes, and heroes just saving the day, doing their job so well. Like, you know, you're used to All Might. So I get it's annoying, right? And I feel bad for the heroes, but I get the feedback from the general community, like the population, because like once you're used to see something done so well, you now see it do like kind of mediocre, like very like hero jobs done mediocre, then you're gonna be disappointed, right?
Yes, but I think one thing you have to note is this is kind of like its own little. It's kind of like a cycle in and of itself, because by the heroes who were day one, who were only in it for the clout, quitting, they worsened the situation so badly to where even the more headstrong heroes were gonna start quitting under the under just how stressful the situation was. Like, they worsened their own problem, and now it is just kind of compounding onto the rage of the civilians, which makes them hate the heroes more, and then more people quit. Like, they are the ones who created this terrible cycle.
I agree. I think it's a lot of people's expectations of what they want. Like, you know, I mean, well then, I mean, you could say it's a whole everyone's fault, to be honest with you, but it's kind of one of those where finding the root cause, you can find something, but I think something might lead to it as well, if that makes sense, what I'm saying. So like, I don't know, let's say I take a run, I wake up because I wanted to take a run, that was the cause. So there might not be an answer to this question, that's what I'm trying to say. But I do hear what you're saying, and I do think that, yeah, it is, the heroes did mess up a lot. Like they did mess up a lot. Maybe even the way the society is made, the fact that, like you said, people just want money, people just want fame and all that. And isn't that pretty much what Horikoshi's trying to go through?
I think he's trying to show that this idea.
I
think the problem, the message Hori is trying to display is that we can't ignore the humanity of these people. A major theme, like post-war, is, you know, recognizing the humanity in the people, whether it be the heroes, whether it be, you know, the people themselves, whether it be the villains. You know, to see that there's more to them than just their their surface level behavior and the title they are bestowed.
Super chat
that makes
from
sense.
Neil. Super chat
Yeah,
from Neil.
let me hit that super chat up real quick.
Sorry about that.
Oh, no, you're good. I can't think of a better pre-birthday present than checking out My Depression Academia. Keep up the great work, Anaki, everyone. Also, for All Might. Yeah.
This
Happy
is
early,
Uncle
happy
Memo.
early birthday. Yeah, it is. Happy early birthday.
Like, yeah, happy birthday, Neil. Appreciate you.
All right, sure. We're waiting for you, man. They've been waiting for that French road team up for a while. You and Panzu, they've been waiting on that. They haven't stopped asking for that shit since you came on that one time, those 2 times. Speaking of French, where the hell is Panzu?
It's probably, I mean, he's not napping because usually we can hear him when he's napping.
Yeah. So he probably take care of that. Oh, he tried to take care of that thing. You know that thing?
Yeah, that thing over there.
Yeah, that thing.
I don't think I've asked you guys yet, but I don't think I've asked you yet. But what do you guys think of the way season 5 is going in general? Not even just NBA and EA, just
so
okay.
You want to speak first, Bob?
You can go because I'm into rambling a little. So
yeah. So for me, I just think that, like I said, using the medium to your advantage. I think in the long run, I'm letting it all play out because this could actually work in the favor. Because NBA was literally during Pro Hero, during joint training, and then like after it, like as far as like in the verse timeline, yeah, but it was like all over the place. If you really think about it, it was happening over the course of a month. But the way they kind of teased it real quick, and it was like, okay, they set it up, and now they're just talking about this big incident that happened. And then I think you building it up to it coming to a climax if they really are putting at the end. I think I'm putting at the end is actually them it's not no Promised Neverland, them cutting shit. What they're doing is rearranging to set up for a bigger buildup so that it's like, all right, we're coming. What happened? And then when you get the ending with the whole stack 7-8 episodes of pure Sakuga, like all that, like all that passion put into there, because we know they've been just the most season they've been the most creative, adding the extra scenes, adding tidbits here. You can see the passion so far from the track record within this season alone. So I'm not gonna be like, man, they fun with this, that, and the other. Like I told you, I only want one thing, which I only care about one thing: my NBA opening. Now that it's placed on the back burner, I believe I just may get that. But my thing is like, I'm just gonna let them cook and do their thing. They're not skipping content; they're rearranging, which can work better for the narrative. They don't have to be one for one. Use the medium to your advantage. I'd be a hypocrite if I said do that and then they actually do that and they don't do, and then I'm like, man, this shit ass. I'm gonna let them work.
Also, real quick, especially when I'm looking at, first off, they did a phenomenal job adapting joint training. I understand a lot of people are like, oh, there was like a bit more flashback than I expected being utilized in the first half of this season. But I think part of that is just so that they can make sure that the back half is just like a lot of like hard focused good stuff. But also by using that, they were able to like focus more on, give us more heavily focused scenes with less team members. Because if you think about it, part of this team like would have been working on the movie. And even though they say like the movie has its own team, like some of those animators still pop back over to help on the season. So by integrating some of those flashbacks, we were able to get like that opening Ida scene where, you know, that reciprocal 2 minutes where he's like blitzing Mudman and then, you know, he drops down, and we're able to get those flash fire scenes in the Hot Tetsu versus Shoto matchup, and we're able to get the Bakugo scenes and like the way that they handle the kinetic energy and like the way he actually does his turns and rotations and getting those details. So we get all these extra benefits out of the way that this season has been structured, and with this rearrangement of events, there's some scenes I'm worried might actually be cut, if I'm being honest. Like the fact that they already used Dabi on the phone means we might not actually get that conversation.
You mean the one with Holt? Am I
right? That was important.
Yeah.
That was important.
Yeah, so I'm a little worried about that. And I'm a little worried because depending on how they decide to frame Endeavor figuring out, oh, this is us raising children for war, because that's too important of a theme within this arc to just not address Bones. So like there's certain things that rearranging it this way kind of messes up a little, but I think they decided that instead of trying to end this on an emotional note, we're gonna get to the end of the ending stuff. We're going to have, it's like once we get towards that ending stuff, I'm trying to figure out how they're gonna like backtrack and segue. So we might be going part of the way through Star Servant and then back, like getting past the Star Servant stuff, getting to that interaction, and then going back. But that's the one thing I'm trying to figure out is how are they going to go back and figure out the Deku City incident, or is it going to be like a part of the Hawks report, or like what is this going to, like I'm trying to figure out like what they're doing, how they're going to explain what happened. Because if you give the Hawk scene where he's like Deka, then it's like, wait, he's got 100,000. Then they're going to ruin, or you're going to spoil the Destro bowing. So I don't know how I feel about that, because when I remember when MVA was going on, that one of the active discussions was, well, what's going to happen? Is the league actually going to fall? Are they going to lose a bunch of members? Is Shigaraki going to live? And I remember being like, oh no, Shigaraki's going to conquer this army. And like some of the people were like, oh, I don't know about that. Like, and if we already know that Shigaraki has the 100,000, then you're spoiling that whole scene. You can do it beautifully, sure, but you're taking away like that discussion. And that's what my big concern is in that department of the rearrangement. So there's certain things that, like building into the arc as this ominous, terrible event, that part they're doing a great job of. Like that part, like building up to the event itself is going even better. But some of the actual emotional tones of the event will end up being undercut because of how we know that these things are coming. Whereas when NBA is a bit of a surprise, you're just kind of sitting there like, oh shit, what? Like when Shigaraki stuck his hand in the face of that dude and then ran through that crowd.
One of them hands.
You were like,
I need that.
What? He can do that? And then Dabi was like, wow, our leader's racking up bodies. And then all of a sudden, Gaten pops up. It's like, you're going into this now, like knowing that these fights are going to be big, but it's a matter of like, you're going to be wondering how they're going to be big. So I don't know how I feel about that. Still, it's going to just kind of come down to like the OSTs, the way it's delivered. And I guess what I'm really going to be looking towards in these upcoming weeks is anime only reactions, because that's going to be what really decides my opinion ultimately, because we have so much information that all this shuffling just is like, no, like wait. And so, like I said on Twitter, like last night, this season is a puzzle that can be put together two ways, but we've got the picture on the box doesn't have to be the final solution to the puzzle. But because we have the picture on the box, we're like, Bones, what are you doing?
I love those type of puzzles.
Hey, hold on.
What are you doing?
But listen, so I'm sorry, we got something from Silvers in the chat. From the Bible, the stains are shown on the capes of our heroes. While some continue covered in blood, others wash themselves clean and go back. So let our wings grow and be strong, my friends. Midnight will come again. Praise be twice. Shout out to you, Silvers. You know the truth.
You know who else didn't use the manga, the medium of animation? Ragnarok.
For real.
That's a muscle man joke right there.
I'm not even gonna lie. What you guys said about season 5 is pretty much on the money. Like pretty much on the money of what I feel. Like I feel that as an anime, one thing that My Hero may get a little bit slack on is because it's very, very, very faithful, and I like that because of it. Because we've seen, Promised Neverland season 2. I don't know if anyone has seen that, but
didn't they skip like a whole like 5 arcs or something?
My God. Don't even get me started.
Didn't the villains
the best
look like
arcs? That's what they did.
Hold on, didn't one of the villains like get their designs kind of looking like they got it from Party City?
Yo, they did that nigga. Yo,
they did. Are you talking about
the Norman for the Guardian? Those people?
Like, TPN did for terrible.
But you know what? That's why I said let's start that. Yeah, we got a super chat. I don't even want to.
Let me acknowledge Nadir. Nadir
hey,
says,
at least it had moving frames instead of what Ragnarok were
Hold on. Okay, this is actually an important topic. It's annoying reading this chapter, then going to discussion forums and seeing some people say he's a villain now, or he's an anti-hero, or anti-villain, or the damn Deku becomes a villain. YouTube clickbait crap. Yeah.
Yo, hold on. I'm hearing that stinging again. That static.
I think somebody's mic might be a little too close to the.
Hey, yo, someone get that out. Thank you.
How people need to compare Deku and Eren, or the fact that Deku is dark now is the reason why his character's getting better. Deku is still Deku. It's just he's under stress. Like, I don't understand how people don't get that.
The foundations for everything was there since chapter 1. It just needed an environment to show its worst aspects. The savior complex, the need to do everything alone, it's been there ever since the start of the story. It's just he had so much support and just structures to keep him in line that he never had to get near that. And when he did, it was typically near the end where he could be taken back into like this realm of safety. But now with no safety, with the whole world, kind of being down utterly atrocious, it's like the worst parts of his need to save everyone, to do everything alone, to like almost kind of like this lack of self-preservation and self-image, it's all coming back, and it's turning him into this really like
loose
arrogant, like apprehensive person that wants to put everyone away. Like, don't go anywhere near him. And that's kind of and the author is showing what leads to, people deciding to abandon the people they care about. Like, you look at it and it seems like so obvious, like, oh no, why would you do that? That's so dumb. But then, when you're in that situation yourself, you don't know if you're going to make, the same foolish mistake.
Well, so one of the things that about the way Deku's being structured here is that people have decided that like, especially that villain comment, like people have decided that Deku is this dark, edgy character now, when in reality he's doing the exact same thing Endeavor does, the exact same thing All Might did. All that's happened is that he's putting his job first. He's doing the same thing that all these other heroes have done and sacrificing his personal life.
That's exactly what it is. It's just, oh, sorry, did I interrupt you?
No, you go.
No, that's exactly what it is. Like, he's putting his job on. Like, this guy, Deku, like you said, he's addicted to saving. His first, like, his famous, like, not famous, but what video he loves to watch the most is All Might saving 1,000 people. That's what he's brought up with. Like, him and saving, like, they go hand in hand. That's Deku, like, that's what he thinks heroism is.
Because he associated that with utility about his life. Being able to save people is being useful for people. That's how you can't, I'm telling you, people can't say anything to me. They will never change my mind about this. Deku doesn't think that he's useful. He only thinks he's useful when he saves somebody. When he put people in danger. He's not useful. He's not. You know what I mean? That is something, because he was quirkless. Being quirkless without an identity for him, being useful he's like his identity. That's why that you say that he's addicted to saving people.
He has no real value for himself.
Voila. That's the thing. That all comes back to his own value to the society, the value to his own life that he gives. He doesn't give a fuck about his life. That's the thing that we have to understand. If you understand that about Deku, many people don't understand that. They don't try to believe even that. It's because Deku has a lot of self-worth issues. That's why that he doesn't live. When it's about saving people, being the hero, he doesn't listen to anybody. Like Omar did. Omar had the same problem. That's what people said about him. Like Night Eye, I don't understand. They have some kind of madness in their head. It's because they don't see that. They can see beyond their own life, beyond other people's life, and there is a great episode in Reborn. It was from one of the side characters, Kokudera. He had the same problem, you know what I mean? And the main character always tried to remember that he has a life too, you know? And his whole character progression of his character was to recognize that doesn't have to sacrifice his life to achieve these goals. Trying to protect these people, you know? That was one of his characters, character arc. And Deku right now, that is a character that he needs to have. If he wants to become better, that he needs to acknowledge that that he has that if he dies as a person, people will have less hope to beat All For One and Shigaraki. That he needs to become better, yet he has to help people. He has to accept the help of other people too. Like you said, self-preservation, stuff like this. Because when you don't see your own life, when you don't see the value in your own life, you think like the YOLO. You think that's YOLO, but you live only but you don't really think that way. You just go doing stuff because you don't.
One thing I've always kind of been I kind of want to share this idea here. One thing that I've been kind of interested in is heroes as first responders, and by Deku not having that sense of preservation, he's actually breaking like one of the most like serious ethics about being a first responder, which is saving people safely, efficiently,
Yes.
and without causing harm to yourself or the environment.
Yes.
That's a major responsibility he's kind of breaking right now. It's very a loose cannon.
But the question is like, will Deku, Madman Deku, Crazy Man Deku, who breaks his bones normally?
Birthday! That was for Nathan. That was for Nathan Virtual. For Enda, that was for you, bro.
You know what else is for Enda? Makima. Nah, I'm playing. It's all up.
So look, my thing with Deku's mind state is that one, if you realize, like to a certain degree, people have been glorifying it, and yet, I love this that like people in the chat are like pulling up different quotes about Deku focusing on this. Nobody's been saved yet. Don't be the old worthless Deku. Straight up a quote that he himself refers to himself like I was actually worthless. In Izuku Midoriya's name, if I remember correctly, there's the kanji for wooden doll, which means he's just like a toy or like a thing used by others. He's effectively a tool or like for the pleasure of society.
I think the direct translation is puppet.
Yeah.
Yes.
So like you have that and
shit, I didn't know this.
Oh yeah.
Where did you find this?
I'd always said that he was worthless. That Deku means worthless. You know what I mean?
Okay, I kind of knew that one, but
yeah, like the Izuku, the last character could be read as worthless is one thing, but like the fact that his actual kanji name involves like wooden doll and some other stuff. So you have
it's ironic because
there's one comment I saw Thomas posted on the Discord. It's by Midori Konokami. Deku is literally the definition of putting himself on fire to keep everyone else warm.
This isn't Fire Punch.
Yep.
Yes. But metaphorically, you know.
I know, but like
no. It is also in Sensei. Oh shit! In Sensei, I just remember that about the talk about in Legend, like about a guy who's like starving, and animals started to sacrifice them trying to help them to survive. You know, a bear brought some resins, another one brought something else, and the bunny didn't had nothing to give him. You know what I mean? So he threw himself into the fire to give him meat.
Damn.
That's what Deku does right now.
That's pretty hardcore bunny.
Yes.
So
it is the bunny. Like I thought. Oh shit, bro.
So Deku's. So, and if you think back to what even like Deku multiple times throughout the war is like, he straight up says, like, right here, right now, I need to let loose all of One for All's power, no matter what happens to me. What happens to me is not relevant. And then, like, you even see, like, when Bakugo's looking at him, he's got the berserker tendrils and all that other stuff, and the people are like, nah, bro, like, this ain't it. And, like, you think about what Bakugo said about when they were kids, like, he doesn't take himself into consideration. Like, there's this consistent emphasis that what Deku is doing to be a hero for others is good, but what he's doing for himself is bad. And constantly you have characters worrying more and more about this self-destructive nature, because and like even back in the sports festival, as I was like, okay, yeah, I get you want to be a hero, but like, why are you going this hard? Like, why is he breaking all these bones? Why is he like, it's constantly noted that Deku is disturbingly self-destructive, but because they have a culture where being a hero is normal, it's excusable that like he's doing this for ultimately the greater good. Because like when Gentle was like, oh shit, that one, he's mad, we need to skedaddle.
Yes.
Like Gentle was like, this nigga crazy.
He's crazy.
And
He's
so
like this.
the fact that like a lot of people look at Deku and think, this nigga crazy. And it's like he can still go get a hero license and stuff, like no big deal. It's kind of wild.
Not only this, just think about it. It's more like the Japanese society give attention to being useful for the society, being important for the group.
It's collective.
It's something that we have collective. We get the same thing here in African.
Yes, sir.
It's also something important for us. Like you have to be, part of the group, so part of the family, part of the clan. You have to be useful also for the clan, because you representing our name too.
Bags.
So the thing about that is like I recognize, like I told you, I really that thing about Deku about putting himself for the others before other than for himself. I recognize that I did that a lot in my life too, and when you don't recognize your own value, you do some dumb stuff. Really, you put yourself in places that normally you would never put yourself into. If you know your own character. And Deku is doing stuff like ignoring people. He's not a guy that likes to ignore people. He's literally doing things that he would never do. Just because that man is thinking, I have to take all that on myself because I have one for all. Wow, man, it is scary. It is really scary for me. Because at this moment we really are on a road to hell, literally, for Deku. We're on the route 66 for him, literally. He's literally there, and he's pushing everybody. Some people try to give him some fuel. He says, "No, I'm gonna do it alone, man. Some water. No, let me alone. I'm gonna do this." And he's gonna die in that desert, bro. He's gonna die mentally and psychologically, spiritually, even maybe in that desert. Oh, bro, I can't wait to. And I don't know why. I can't wait to see that. I can't wait to see him suffer and learning from and reborn. I would like to see how he's gonna be reborn. It's gonna be epic.
See, that's why Loki. I want Ochako, right, to go meet Deku after all this time, just slap him to Mars or something, because I think she's probably one of the rare people that like properly knows what he's going through in a weird way, if that makes sense. Like without knowing what he actually is going through, kind of knows that, okay, as a hero, and he's trying to be the best. He's trying to sacrifice himself here and there. So I think that she's going to be the one to save him. But obviously, I trust Hori will do this, but I hope he does it without going too much of the romantic angle. Well, what do you think?
I mean, that's a Kaiten points in that's part of her character. Deku is literally like her main character arc, going through what type of hero she wants to be and reaching the conclusion who saves the heroes when heroes need saving.
Yes.
And Deku's literally the pivotal point of that. Yes. And it's not a romantic sense. It's not like he's literally the embodiment of. And it's the point where that like All Might didn't really have people to save him when he was going down this pathway with Gran Torino. Gran Torino helped him on the pathway before. It was like, yo, you can. It's like a mixture of when All Might's master died, and then when he went on the pathway to go kill off. Well, basically take off when I end up killing him. But he was like, it kind of melded together because there's a difference. You can see the similar path Shigaraki and Deku are following their mentors down, but it's in this way it's a lot more different than each one because they have a lot of growing to do. But it's different in that like she's here to tell this nigga like, yeah, bro, you're suffering. You're my primary example of the type of hero I need to save because you're the one that's suffering. You're the one that's doing this to yourself when you don't have to be doing this to yourself.
Yep.
Because it's like the hero said, if we came everybody together in an encompassing network, we may have had a better chance at this sooner. But once Deku doing what he doing, going his lone wolf pathway, because he doesn't want anybody to get hurt. Like I said, it's only gonna it's funny because it's not this the whole thing about MHA. A lot of the stuff is easy. The big major points are easy to predict. It's just the execution of how it goes down.
It is because it's realistic the way that Rikoshi protested. That's why it is easily to predict, but it is how he's gonna do it. It's gonna make it better. This is what happened with Dabi, literally. With Dabi, the Dabi experience. Like
the people was literally just trying to like clown us, like, yo, bro, it's taking too long. It's not gonna hit when it comes. We all know. Literally, all y'all niggas was gassing that shit up to the high heaven after talking all that shit about it. It's not
this way. This is how you. The best example with that Dabi thing that like highlights Horikoshi is just straight up good at this is that he had people fuming over Black Speech Bubble. Fuming over that Black Speech Bubble moment. And in the same arc had them twerking for the same exact type of scenario. Like it was supposed to be Dabi revealing himself there. Nope, Black Speech Bubble. Dog was like, no,
what was the Black Speech Bubble? Right now we don't know what was the Black Speech Bubble.
So I mean, he told him. We know what he told him. But I feel like in the anime that'll be a lot more like different because it'll be like you can drown it out and it'll just
be like a lot of explosions.
It'll just be like, yeah, you see them talking and it's cut back because you can see how far back the panel is and it can like have a little blur effect and it just crumbling and noises and it's kind of like drowned out audio. It's like you like, and then you see Hawk's eyes go wide and shit, and Dabi going.
Yes, you will say you will have the focus on his face when he will be talking, like or on his mouth, and then on the look of the eyes of Hawks, like you will see the eyes widen, like what the hell? But
yeah, well, King of Wolves, I don't. My fault, Mpanzu.
No problem. I finished.
Okay, I don't. King of Wolves, you've been in the chat recently. I want to pay attention to the chat, and I was doing something, so I wasn't. So I didn't get the full conversation everybody's talking about. I guess they were talking about the church was talking about how certain characters gonna like slap some sense in the Deku. He needs a touch of both. He needs a touch of like, all right, bro, you need to listen and kind of forcefully at the same time, because like it's getting kind of forth. Like it's like, all right, bro, like you need like a touch of like what Ida gave you before, and a lot like you need to learn how to value yourself.
He needs a hug. That's pretty much it. Like that's what low key.
No, because the hug won't. You need to realize something. You need to realize to see something himself. That's the most important thing. What I see when I think about Deku is that there is something that he has to realize that it comes from himself. And if it does, even if you told him that, you won't till you can know something, but you don't realize that. You know what I mean? Because it is something that comes from you. People can tell him, see your own life, but he will see, man, you're okay. That's true, maybe, but you have to realize that is something that when he will realize that, it will be something really that we will be happy to see that, but also sad because it might be at the moment that he will lose someone important to him. So I can't wait to be there.
Something that I'm realizing is that like somebody was like, oh, these skeletal shoes. No. He's just been whooping so much ass that the Iron Souls are starting to break off.
Yeah,
That's like having hold on. That's like having steel. That's like having steel tip Tims, and you stomped out so many people that it got a dent.
Like because like, when you look, you can see that like part of the bracer towards the center of the tarsals is like lifting up. So like he's busted him down so much that like they're starting to turn into like toes and claws. What's extra crazy about that though is that I wonder if he now has range slash attack with this feat.
Yeah, like you can like legit cut people with that.
His control over Black Whip is better. We can see that he can just walk, put letting the trend just the whip coming from other parts of his body, the tendrils coming of different parts of his body, literally. So, man, Deku is about to be crazy. It's crazy what he will get his when he will be at 100%, man. He will have tendrils coming from his back, his ass, his feet.
You can say his ass.
Yes.
we really haven't questioned. Does Deku got doodoo on him now? Think about it.
Probably. Maybe.
I mean, he's shitting on these niggas, so I don't think so.
Maybe he's beating the other person. They shit themselves.
Yeah.
He does everything in that costume.
I ain't gonna lie to you.
On it, bro.
I ain't gonna lie to you. What Deku developed some real dark methods like making niggas talk. It was like, answer the question, or I'll make you wipe my ass. You know, no, please, like, it's coming.
Oh,
I ate a burrito today. Extra beans.
Please,
I don't know anything.
Let's be real. Deku shits are too scared to come out. They just disappear. They don't want to risk inconveniencing him. Just
remember what they said in the last panel. People are talking about him like you see a guy blooded. Some niggas are gonna call him. Do you heard about the bunny man?
That's what I thought about this when I got to this. I was like, yo, it's like we've been talking about this whole time. The bunny man.
That doesn't look like a bunny. That looks like a demon.
You ever heard of Banicula?
Oh yeah, I've heard of that. Yeah, like the early 2000s. Yeah.
Basically a super evil, dangerous bunny.
Real talk. Somebody, I can't remember, was Astaroth or somebody. Whoever you are, shout yourself out on the stream, or you could comment in the church. That was me, and I'll give you a shout out next episode. They said they theorized that we may not see Deku's face again until he meets up with 2A, like his actual face. Because right now, you know, we all see what he's doing. So now, because he's putting up a front, he's putting up a mask. That nigga bullshitting through his teeth. He cannot use 100% without recoil. He just talking shit. He's just being arrogant. You think he actually gonna be like, yeah, it's causing me some pain, but this, that, and other. No, when you try to tell somebody don't worry about you, not gonna tell them the fucking truth.
Yep.
They already don't go all out into the final fight. That full 100% shit may not be actual 1%, but it's stronger than the 45% he's supposed to be using. So if he's using that in every fight, every fucking day, all the time, that shit is going to wear him down with also not taking care of his health. I'm telling y'all, be prepared, because when he be like, oh fuck, my shit not working properly, I can't, my brain down bad, my body down bad, and Shigaraki all wrestling. Oh man. Woo.
Bruh, you
ever been to the beach?
He said it already at the moment that he used that against Nagant. He was already thinking to himself, I froze in the air because I can use it, man.
Yeah, like his body just straight up like froze up, like he was using too many quirks, and his body was like, "IB, you take a rest, nah."
Right, and so he's overclocking, he's not eating, and the thing is that he's blatant. These are like blatant depression symptoms, because effectively he watched somebody potentially, but very likely die like right in front of him. Like, sure, she was able to give information, but she's still in critical condition. So this is like him, like this is like Deku at first was still willing to stop, eat, and like we saw, you know, like he gave like All Might the Happy Bunny look, like leaving with the tonkatsu. You know, it's like, oh yeah, like he's going out on the mission, you know, it sucks, but like he's still, you know, out here, and he was like assuring people, and now it's like okay, He's using float a lot for when he's moving, so he's not even landing on the ground. So he's flying a lot of places using Black Whip, so you don't hear him coming. He's like dropping in on people. He's not even trying to, like, he's not, even though he's supposed to like tell the world I am here, he's basically doing the exact opposite. He's just whooping ass and going about his day. Deku and Aaron have, the main thing that Deku and Aaron have in common is people not understanding them for real, but very, very strongly convincing themselves that they do understand.
I mean, for such a simple series, you should be able to summarize a character's personality.
Illiteracy exists, so that's all I got to say.
Yeah, but also arrogance. But that doesn't help with the literacy. Just kind of bolsters it.
Nah, JJ killing me. He just edited the last page of Deku like walking into a target.
JJ been on fire lately with his tweets, man. Surprising enough.
JJ keep coming with great memes and stuff, man.
I think you think it's about time, Anarchy. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's about time to wrap that up. We got an extra hour out of it, which impressive. Good job, guys. Proud of y'all.
Seriously, the NBA OST is gonna hit. There are so many good string sections. I love the use of strings in the album.
I mean, My Hero's always been willing to get orchestral with it, so.
The guy that makes the music of My Hero Academia makes the music of Haikyuu, and he works. The thing that he does on these stories when it's about music are amazing. So I can't wait to be there.
I would love to see him work in like the film industry.
Oh, bro, that would be amazing.
Like him scoring like a horror movie soundtrack after hearing this.
All right, it's enough about those leaked soundtracks.
All right.
I haven't heard them yet. Are they really good?
Oh, they're excellent.
You're in the server, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. If you check the music channel in the server,
oh, lit.
actually have all the tracks.
That applies to everybody. If you're in the church Discord, go to the music channel. You can find the leaked tracks for the NBA stuff.
And
gotcha.
Since you're here, I'll actually be placing a link in the chat right now for those of you actually.
I ain't gonna play 1 second of it, but I just want to let y'all know the penultimate theme for Shigaraki is a masterpiece. It is beautiful.
See, that is why I don't know if I want to listen to the music or not, because I want to just experience it in real time.
See, I'm not listening to them because of that reason. I'm going to experience them like as they're intended.
I tried to, and my phone wasn't letting me do it, so I said, hey, you know what? That's a sign.
Yeah, I think it's all gonna go well. I think we should have faith. I think it's gonna go well.
Like, I'm just gonna because my thing is that, like I said, I don't want to tell myself when a song is going to be used or where. I want to be able to like just like see it, hear it, experience it, and then later on go listen to it like the entirety and be like, okay, like this is how I feel about the entire song.
Although post season 5, if you do a reread of MVA, you have to use the soundtrack.
Well, one super chat before we left. I guess we got to do that.
Yeah, let's go.
Veronica, do you think that the message is pushing him down this route? It's like Deku Izuku is dying and all that's being left is one for all. So this is a good question, and it actually kind of ties into one of my feelings about how I don't necessarily know if I agree with All for One the person or Shigaraki actually being the villain, but rather the quirk All for One itself being the final villain. Which that's just something that like I have sitting in the back of my mind as I'm thinking about it more and more, and like the way the quirk has interacted with stuff. And so the idea of the true conflict being this quirk All for One versus this quirk One for All does kind of seem like something that can kind of like, it's like floating in the background of my brain. So yeah, I don't know how you guys feel about that, but that's just something that I've had in my mind. Especially because
to prepare yourself for
especially because when Shigaraki mentions like, oh yeah, I have the power of All for One, and then he was like, this power exists to destroy that one. He's like, he talks about the quirk All for One being the reason that One for All exists, to destroy it, not for whoever like necessarily has it. So like it's the quirk that Deku is basically kind of acknowledging and focusing on in that sentence more than any person individually.
To kind of like prepare yourself for the soundtrack, I like to recommend 2 albums. The Cyberpunk, um, the Cyberpunk soundtrack. Like, okay, besides the game
Wait,
being,
seriously?
yes,
That soundtrack's amazing. I'm
yes.
surprised. That
I
good?
recommend that, and I also recommend the Bloodborne soundtrack. A lot of the string sections heavily reminded me of some of the stuff you would hear in like a lot of the boss themes, like Lawrence's, like Lawrence the First Vicar. Uh, that one was very. I got a lot of vibes from one of the tracks. I'm not gonna say no name, but that's it.
I won't be surprised about that because, like, I remember the 9 soundtrack. I remember I was talking this in the chat, right? The 9 track, you know, they play it nowadays in season 5. That sounds like Kingdom Hearts. Am I the only one that thought that?
I gotta re-listen to it.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to listen to that over. But you also, I was listening to Simple and Clean yesterday, and
That shit sounds so hard.
Still slaps.
I always find myself wondering why the fuck that was the Kingdom Hearts theme song, because that song is like basically a marital argument. And it's like, wait,
Yeah.
I get
like, why is this
it's
the theme song to Kingdom Hearts? This has nothing to do with anything in this game. But
I think it's maybe Kai's perspective, I guess, of Sora. I don't know. I'm just waiting.
Maybe it's like hold on. Maybe it's like an allegorical, like a reading.
And also, Mito, as far as the I'm so blessed this Christmas, I just assume the reason that's taken out of the dub is because of like sensitivities and them not trying to anger anybody. And the fact that, like, if you're going to air something in the US, you're probably better off not using the word blessed anymore because it creates weird feelings with people. So they're probably just trying to avoid it altogether.
Yeah, but yeah, I listened. That is definitely some Kingdom Hearts.
But blessed doesn't necessarily mean,
they're just avoiding it altogether.
Well, okay, but there's more like non-religious.
Let's not even start that conversation because I
right.
feel like going a rabbit hole. We had to enter this one.
Yeah, it's just them being smart and just avoiding it altogether. And yeah, the Ojiro versus Kaibara OST was probably one of my favorite ones that I've heard in a while. But yeah, let's go around the horn. Final thoughts, Squid.
All right. Well, you know how much I love me some world building. You know how much I love me some recontextualization. And for me, this chapter, and I think what's been helping is like, because I get a lot on arguments like on Twitter about Deku's character and stuff, and there's kind of been this idea that like he's being rewarded by the story, like the story sees his destructive tendencies as good, but I think that's just Hori being really deceptive and playing tricks as a writer, and we're seeing that the framing of what Deku is doing is really wrong coming into obvious light. So now we're just kind of waiting for the consequences of that, that hubris, that arrogance that's coming from like this environment that's been warping an already like pretty nasty savior complex. Stain's coming back. I love the new jacket. Kind of reminds me of the trench coat used by the Ninja Turtles when they gotta go undercover. If this is the last words All Might gets to Deku, this is absolutely going to be like one of the most tragic moments in terms of like plot lines in the manga, because it's like a circular continuation of what kind of like Nana did to her family, and then what Toshinori did to Night Eye, and it's just like this really kind of like tragic cycle of trying to think you're doing good, but you're hurting others around you. And I love how, like, it's pretty obvious Deku is like depressed and stuff. Like, he's absolutely just been through the ringer, and this is AFO's plan. And the art, in terms of cross hatching, it's just really, really good. Like, the cross hatching in this is phenomenal. Like, the paper grading and stuff, and like how it's like interspersed with the light. It's all fantastic art, in my opinion.
Yeah.
NG is continuing to be a hero over being a father. I expect Shoto to be very frustrated with him ignoring both a call and a text. Like if I'm doing that both, like there's consequences for that. And Death Arm's retirement is ultimately the 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 reinforcing of another theme, which is seeing the human inside of a title. Because we see this done with villains, right? They're dehumanized, but the heroes are also dehumanized in that they're considered kind of like above humans, that they're supposed to be perfect. But they're humans, they just donned a costume and tried to do good, whether for various reasons, some vain, some selfless. And there's ultimately there's a lot of potential here, and I think it's very likely it's going to be followed upon, and for that and the phenomenal art, I have to give this a 9 out of 10.
Okay. Onzu.
Oh, I'm still there. I'm still there. I was just thinking what I was about to say. First thing to say, people, like the stream, show your love, you know what to do. I will always say it, like the stream. I have to say it because Aniki is working hard for us all, bringing us a platform where we can speak freely, saying stuff that we want to, even if you get clowns, or even if you select on stream like me. so, so yeah. First thing to say, this chapter is a new point for the story of My Hero Academia. Uh, this chapter will show us where Deku is going. This is the beginning of the fall of the fall of Deku as a person. Not Deku, Izuku Midoriya. That's the first thing to say because Deku is not fully. He's not Deku yet. I will say he's more like a bunny man. That's something else. He's more like the beginning of the bunnyman started already, and he's doing some job. He's full of blood. You know what I mean? And right now it's about his person, how he's seeing himself in the future. That's the thing. That's really the thing that I really want to see how Horikoshi is gonna explore this about our main character because we as he is not escape, but he tried to avoid the main character for a reason, and we're seeing this right now. He gave spotlight to other people to show us more about his world. And Aofiji said things really. I was following also the stream of Aofiji's, like from far, and his last thread was really interesting for me. So I can't advise for many people to, if you want to, he said something really interesting about My Hero Academia. Take a look on Twitter. But really, this chapter just showed that Horikoshi knows what he is doing, know how he will bring, where he can bring this character. Even if you don't know, we can understand the plan fully. Like I don't know if some of you watched Daredevil, the last episode of the last season, the third season. The priestess told to Daredevil that God has a plan, and this plan is like a tapestry, and we humans can unsee the backside of the plan because we just see the we can see the full picture, but God see the full picture, and that is what Horikoshi is doing this with My Hero Academia. Literally, his God is in the full picture. We said we just don't see the threads on that. We are seeing the backside of that tapestry. So the question is at the end, when we will get the chance to look at this picture, at this tapestry, will it be one of the best shonen manga ever? I don't know, but I'm already having a blast with you guys. Thank you for having me. And my bad for this being the napping panzer for the last streams. And love you all. Love you all.
You good. We ain't tripping. We ain't tripping.
Mhm.
Bye.
Hey,
get your
I
final
love these
words.
nicknames you give me, man. They're very funny. In all honesty, in terms of the chapter, I think, in my opinion, I think it's one of the best chapters in the whole series. I just feel like the whole All Might and Deku relationship that has been built up for so long, this kind of like surrogate father figure that I believe that's how you say it, right? So that kind of father figure that All Might is, and him seeing a reflection of himself and Deku and seeing what Deku's going through, just seeing that relationship not really break, but just seeing All Might see Deku just not need him around as much. It was very, very heartbreaking. Let me not lie. Like seeing that after all they've been through. Like I never, like I said this in my reaction. I said I think I knew Deku would leave All Might because he'll just mature and just leave him. I didn't think he would leave him the way he did, and because of that, I just smell a death flag, man. Like I think All Might is dying, and yeah, this is, if not the last time we see All Might and Deku like together before he dies. I think one of the last ones, unless let's say like, you know, towards the end, like I don't know, All Might tries to help Deku fight All For One and throws like a rocket All For One or something. I don't know, and he dies. But not just that, actually, funny enough. I like the fact that the whole Death Arm scene, I'm sorry, I think that really, really hit, because like what I really rate about Horikoshi with this manga, which he's been doing very subtly, but I think is a bit more obvious now, actually it's very obvious now, is the mental side of how these people work as heroes and even just work in general, and just seeing how it all goes and how it's all just, how just the fact that their job that's been messed up, their dream job has been gone to trash, has really affected them. And I have to rate Horikoshi for that, because one thing I always say about MHA is that I think it has one of, if not the best character development in shonen, or even just in manga, in my opinion. Well, from the ones I've read. And he just keeps on delivering. So that's why every time I have anything maybe negative about my hero, or not even negative, more like, oh, I hope it doesn't, I'm like, you know what? It's Horikoshi. He does what he wants. He'll end up making me happy anyway. And that's what I think he did with this chapter. This arc, to me, definitely the best arc at the moment as well. And I'm really, really excited to see where this goes in the future. I think that where we're at is still season 7. So I think this arc will last way longer than I thought. But overall, I'm just happy, man. Like, great character development. Deku's changing for the better. And one thing that I actually know, one of the other best things I love about the chapter, last thing, was All For One has really messed with Deku. And that is what I want my villain to do. So Horikoshi, round of applause. You've done a great job. Keep doing what he does. And also, you guys are doing a great job on your streams. Keep it up. You're killing it in the MHA community. Thanks for being a voice of reason in this in this world of anime Twitter and anime YouTube, where things cannot things go left all the time in terms of opinions. But yeah, well, that's all I can say. Thank you so much.
Agendas, like I call them.
Agendas, basically. If Deku is not getting with Bakugo, or if Bakugo is not getting with Ochako, nobody wants to hear it. So that's the agenda. No, but in all seriousness, thank you so much. This has been a really fun time, and yeah, hopefully many more. So yeah.
Hey man, I was glad to have you on, and you can definitely come on again. You know, like I said, I'm planning. I've been meaning to plan the big pull people together stream, but I was like, damn, I don't have a name for it anymore, because we're not calling it the Billboard chart with everything going on.
Yeah, I will find a name. I will find a name for you. I will find a name for you for sure.
So yeah, but
it depends what you're ranking, I guess. If you're ranking like top 10 characters, I guess the character stream, or like the arc stream or something. I don't know. You'll find something. You guys are.
You'll find something. You'll find something.
We're gonna end up having to talk about. I think the next big stream is going to be about MHA this year specifically. Just talking about like these past 6 months, because I like 6-7 months, because I think people need to really sit down and think about what we've had happen this year. Because to me, this year has been more intense than last year.
Easily. It's
and last year, we had people like fighting Nomu, flipping, but like, no, this year is like, the feel of this year is so different compared to last year that it like, That's something I think we just really want to zero in, have a bunch of people come together and really just talk
We
about.
we just have to find like we can call it like the mess, the MHA mess, like recap. I don't know, something in the art.
Yeah. All right. But
People who actually like MHA, the stream.
Now, Archbishop East, your final thoughts?
Undefeated of the East, baby. What it do? So I have one question to start off this. Everybody just say your answer, and then I'll come back to it later on. Who do you prefer, Grimjar or Eisen? You don't have to get no full speech in detail. Just generally, who do you prefer?
Eisen.
Grimjar or Eisen. That goes to you,
I'll
chat too.
admit-
Everybody answer the question. Grimjar or Eisen, who do you prefer?
I'll admit, I never finished the manga. I finished the anime, but I would say out of the anime, so low-key Eisen. Eisen was just a prick, man. Like, I just loved how cocky he was. The only problem is I've only seen the anime, so I haven't seen more of him.
Can I just pick the actual best and go with Ulquiorra?
I knew you were gonna do that shit. All right, chat. I'll actually on that question too. Grimjar or Eisen, who do you prefer? Who do you prefer? But that's just the question. I'll come back to that later. Why I asked that question because I didn't get to get into this topic.
Eisen
we'll save it for next stream. Don't worry. There's nothing to add on to this chapter that hasn't already been spoken. I mean, y'all know what I'm going to say. Like, it's just like this shit is absolutely got to like. Well, stop. You can't check Horikoshi. Nobody can check Horikoshi. He's ahead of the game at every step. Trust the process. That's all you literally have to do. Like you listen. We're gonna keep playing this game. At the end of the day, you're not gonna win. Horikoshi is gonna win. Unless y'all like being made fun of and looking foolish and wearing clown suits and shit like that, you're not gonna win this battle with Horikoshi. Like you're not going to check him. He will be ahead. He has everything in mind of the story. Please, like I wish we could have had the death conversation, but we'll save it for later. I'll just be honest with y'all. A lot of us are too desensitized to the notion of death. Where I think I know for a fact reviewing MHA Horikoshi values it so much more than we do, and the fact that death should be something that's very much cherished and responsible, not just oh shit, head flying, oh shit, he raw nigga. Like I understand y'all like the annihilation of a certain clan, a certain series. I won't say because we have anime owners for that series, but if you know, you know. I understand, but that's what that series is more so about in that gaslight, but it's more set in the fantasy realm. The MHA is more realism. A lot of these deaths hit harder because you don't have to show Midnight and Majestic getting their heads bashed in and shit, slaughtered, this and other. The message they said carries on to the characters, and then when they go back and realize, oh shit, she's actually dead, like it hits home even harder. And like there's like moments of Gran Torino who we're not going to debate whether he's alive or dead because y'all want to be fuddy-duddy on that shit. You're not leaving the hospital. But besides the point, he was alive after the fact to give Deku to what he needed. Look at every character that lived on past a point they shouldn't have. They all serve a purpose. And Horikoshi likes using them past that. But we're too sensitized to the notion that we want death here, death now, blood, guts, and gore when we don't care. I guarantee you Horikoshi could have drawn 200 random civilians, random heroes. Y'all wouldn't have gave a fuck. I promise you wouldn't have. He would have been better off just saying a total number than that page, to be honest, because y'all that's not all the heroes that died, but y'all wouldn't have cared if he drew it. Why would I? If I'm Horikoshi, why would I waste my time drawing 200 random ass heroes when y'all wouldn't have gave a fuck? And I know y'all wouldn't have. Hello? It's all about utilizing it and knowing stuff. And a lot of times he does overestimate the intelligence of the audience, but hey, that is what it is. Once again, though, we'll have that conversation about death later on, but it's truly an amazing chapter and encapsulates a lot of stuff that comes back full circle to the narrative, and Deku's pushing himself as a point where he'll come to regret it. But it's an interesting note that I forgot what he said. He was like, at one point, he was like, "This is the first chat." He's like, "This is my first and last setback." So the him in the future looks at everything as this helped me grow into becoming the person I am today, the man I am, the hero I am, to be the greatest number one. So honestly, man, always have faith because Horikoshi said all the characters play a role in the final arc. Not even just final act, he said the final arc too. So when it all comes together, don't worry, everybody will have their time to shine. He's using the older characters now and for the new generation to rise out in the future. All you gotta do is have patience, man. That's literally all it is. But enough of that fucking professional shit. Back to my nigga gimmick. Yo, that nigga the fucking goat. Let me tell you something, nigga. Did you see that last panel, boy? They had All Might falling on the floor, coughing up blood, sad as shit. Deku packing up that assassin ass nigga with them fake ass tattoos. Boy, these niggas is frauds out in the street. Let's go. You know how my boy Deku in these streets doing it. That's my son right there. All Might, it's okay, Toshinori, bro. You ain't gonna have to suffer much longer. You won't be dead. It's all good in the streets. I got you, bro. Don't even worry about it. Shigaraki finna wake up next week. Don't even worry about that shit. Listen, man. Absolutely fucking phenomenal. Horikoshi the fucking goat, nigga. Undefeated on the East, baby. What it do?
All right.
You have a good day. I love you.
Y'all take care. Enjoy yourselves.
Oh, wait,
Thanks.
sorry. One last thing. Sorry. Isn't it great to be an MHA fan right now?
Oh, dog.
The anime is about to get NBA. Bro.
the level, look, like you said, NBA is going to be popping up. And here's the thing, I enjoy Endeavor Agency anyway. So, like, the ending fight is probably going to be beautiful. The Star Servant fight looks like it's going to be beautiful. We're going to get NBA, and then that's just going to have people's heads spinning. Then we have the movie coming out. So fine, we're not going to get to see that this year more than likely, but we're going to get leaked footage. We're going to see some of the little extra stuff. We're going to know some little extra things. It's going to be raw. And who knows, maybe they'll, like, because this is like a post-pandemic movie release, they'll be a little quicker on the rollout, have something planned, something like that. Anyway, like this year, like these past 2 years, I think have just been great years to be MHA fans.
Facts.
Like, especially
100%.
And this season is realistically finishing on like a crazy ass strong suspenseful note. I'm expecting it to now, because we did that shuffle. If we finish with like on that day the heroes vanish from the streets, then it's cool. Like before, I was like, if we're gonna go like in the same order, I didn't want us to go that far in the story. But if we're actually gonna do some shuffling, we might be able to do that. And we technically don't even have to go that far, because like that panel is technically into the war arc a couple chapters, so we could actually finish. We can likely complete all of Endeavor Agency up to like 252-ish, which is before we start doing the Aizawa stuff, and then do the MVA stuff where we'll really like end up diving into what that stuff means. And then that's going to be
I agree.
The end of the season very well could be the last episode is like the sun, or like the penultimate episode is like the sun, and then like finishes with that, and you got money to burn, right?
Yes.
And then we get like Shigaraki giving the speech, having the surgery, and going into the chamber. Like we might even finish with like Shigaraki on the table, like and like going for power with Ujiko cheering for him, and like that's like the last bit, and then like we go over into what's being set up. So that's kind of like, I think this. So yeah, like we get that plus whatever we get going on in the manga at this point. I trust it to just keep being as good as like these past couple of weeks, especially. We're gonna just keep being fat. Great time to be an MHA fan. Great time to be an MHA fan.
Amazing time. Amazing. I have faith that Hori might even go even better. Like the way he's writing his characters, when things just start popping off, it's just it's gonna be legendary. That's why this chapter is amazing, because all that setup just hits so well. When All Might and Deku just split off, I'm like, oh man. But anyway, yeah. I can't wait, man, for the rest.
Like Deku spent all of his life chasing after All Might, and now he's leaving him behind. It's just
exactly. It's
you don't look back at me shit hurt. That shit came full circle again, and not in the way I wanted to, boy.
Like
we all thought it was gonna be happy, like, oh, you don't look back at me, so you're gonna be a great hero. Not you don't look back at me because you don't need me anymore.
And you're throwing me away and pulling like because like Deku basically thinks he's All Might now.
Yep. Facts. You think that he's
like he believes he's All Might. He's like, I've got your powers, bro. I could do what you do. What else can you teach me?
That's the thing about it. It's more like he thinks that he's living the fan dream. You know what I mean? Like being your hero. Being your hero, having his powers and everything, he's feeling, but and that's what I told you. He's doing the same thing as Oma did, like the way I can't wait to see him like to punch off for one like his ass, like and lose an arm. I can't wait to see this stuff. And for the last time,
do that one again.
I want that the anime give us a Batman voice from Deku. I'm praying for that every day. That we need when he's in that form that he get a Batman voice like. And when that he can also change to talk normally, to be not to be that scary when he talks to the fox girl. You know what I mean? Stuff like this, just to when he's smirking people. Where are they? I just want to have.
But let's actually head out.
Yeah. So, appreciate all y'all for coming through.
Love y'all.
Love y'all.
Thanks for having me.
So much love.
Of course.
Just especially and people even sending super chats on both streams. Appreciate it. Definitely appreciate it. Makes my life a little bit better.
Well, I guess I'm coming too late.
Wow.
Oh!
All right. We'll give Sayaz. Here's 5 minutes. Go. Give your thoughts. Nobody interrupt.
I really love the chapter. I love the design of Deku. I think it's funny because if you had a real picture of him, it would just look ragged and uncool. But this way, it just looks really, really good. And I love this new design. It doesn't look like a hero at all. That random passerby person is correct. I love that he's already getting rumors about him, and I'm not sure how people will react if they find out what's going on with 1 for 1, All for 1. But I do hope that whatever rumor he's spreading about him, not on purpose as it seems, will give him a positive impact in the end. This scene with All Might I thought was really heartfelt. I feel very sorry for All Might, and it's fun to see this dynamic shift between how he was with Night Eye to how he's now with Deku, and even remembering what Night Eye said to him. This I think was probably one of my favorite All Might scenes in a long while. I also love that the heroes are doing things now, that they are actually talking about what's going on. I'm not sure what exactly the heroes are going to plan, but really overall, this chapter was probably my favorite chapter in the last, ever since the Todoroki flashbacks ended, I guess. I really love this chapter. So yeah, giving it a 9 out of 10. So yeah, that's it.
9 out of 10. Wow, Sayas kept it concise, got the points across. Acknowledge that some of these things only look raw in manga / anime because otherwise it really would be damn nigga, go take a shower. But that's okay. My nigga is trying. He's trying his best.
If Deku was in Atlanta, they'd be roasting that nigga right now. I want you to know that.
Nah, if Deku was in Atlanta, he'd be folding them niggas, but
they still, when he saves them, they still gonna roast his ass. I want you to know that.
You're right.
Oh yeah, and Stain. Whatever Stain's going to do, I'm up for it.
So this is gonna be weird, but I think we might actually be getting a Stain All Might team up. And that's where we're ending the video. So